There's a number of reasons for the shape of the school. It responds to a certain amount of conditions. One, bioclimatic. We studied the environment and we found that most of the prevailing winds come from the north and northwest. It suggested too that opening up to the southeast provide more opportunity for sunlight. In plan, it's largely a C shape that does open up to the southeast, and that happened to be a pretty dramatic view of the city. There was historic precedent that we got very inspired by when we saw the structures of Fujian, the largely circular or square structures that were mostly inward focused. But what struck us powerfully was just the sense of space and the sense of protection when you're inside those structures. You're at once sheltered and immediately embraced. And so we did kind of a hybrid of that with the C shape. It wraps around you, so you get that sense of the whole, a sense of the sheltering and sense of protection, but then it is open mostly to the southeast, so that you take in the broader community, the city of Beijing.
Here we are in Beijing, which is a highly urbanized environment with really not a lot of opportunity to interact with the natural world. Here we've got a school building that on every floor you can move from that, classroom experience out into a natural setting. And actually kind of blur the edges at times when the weather is appropriate, so that one doesn't feel contained or imprisoned. So what the school does is it offers at every floor level an outdoor terrace. And that outdoor terrace being on the inside curve of the shape of the school, whenever you're out on that terrace, you're actually feeling the whole school itself. But it allows for the environments to vary quite a bit from the very traditional formal learning environment of the classroom through to the collaborative pods, project-based learning, into the circulation path where we rub shoulders with students and faculty and visitors, and then directly right to the outside where you can grow plants, vegetables, you can check the weather, you can see where the sun is, you can do outside experiments, you could actually hold learning kinds of experiments outside. So as you see in the section, the terraces are wider at the bottom floors and they gradually get a little narrower as we go up to allow sunlight and rain to penetrate into the terraces and give them the best chance to be spectacular, alive, growing places. Students learn not only from teachers, but from older students. And when they can rub shoulders under a controlled environment with the older students, that learning is enhanced. It's also better for the older students, in fact, to be able to educate the younger students. And as we all know, you learn better when you have to teach a subject. In our case, within the school concept, the circulation path or the hallway is actually open to the collaborative learning areas of each of the grades. So you can get a really palpable feeling of what it's like to be an older student. And it kind of projects you into that next year and the year beyond, and you can kind of set your goals as to how you're both going to act as an older student and what you might want to learn. Knowing where you're going to go, over the years that you're in this particular elementary school, can reduce the anxiety of younger students in anticipating what's ahead of them.
So in a traditional school, a child who is perhaps more active, what we would call a kinesthetic learner, might need to move around. They might need to be doing something with their hands or with their feet, and so in a traditional school, that is seen as a discipline problem. So in a more diversified learning environment, the solution is actually to look at that child as having just simply a different way of learning. And so by providing opportunities for that child to move, whether it's the way the furniture is designed, it could be the way that the classroom is set up so that there's room to move, so that there are activities where the children leave the classroom. So to treat the classroom as being all over the school, and in the gymnasium, in the corridors, in the spaces between classrooms, to allow that to happen everywhere. So again, the corridor is not sized to be just for a group of students that are walking from one place to another, but it's meant to have little alcoves and places where you can get off of that corridor and have a small meeting, so that there's encouragement of activity at all times at varying levels throughout that whole space. Yeah, well, our graphic designer, Aaron, came up with a really simple and clear way of organizing the paintings according to the spectrum.
Well, I narrowed them down basically based on the color schemes to try to find color schemes that would look nice together. I had them all printed out on little cards and laid them all out and tried to find things that would flow into each other really well.
To be able to find those paintings that would produce a really good color scheme.
Well, I started by gathering a big group of paintings that encompassed a lot of different time periods and countries, and tried to get both male and female artists and a lot of different styles.
And we didn't stop with just the classrooms, so each of the faculty administration offices also plays a part in that scheme. And then we found a lot of other ways to work that color in. So there's a large tiled mural that's in the central stair that connects all the floors in front of the auditorium space. And so that actually brings all of the colors in the school from all of the paintings together to become a vertical element that you can see from outside the school.